Alrighty, we've reached the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and last week we had a really good performance on the picks, 5 of 6 in the picks, and this week I think we're gonna go 4 for 4. I really love the picks that I've put together, thought it over, looked at it, done some research, and I'm really excited to get into these. There's going to be 2 of these games played on Saturday, and then 2 of them are going to be on Sunday, and we're just going to get right into this. We're going to start with the Chiefs and the Texans. And I think if you look at it, the Texans were the only game that I did not pick correctly last week. I thought the Chargers would win that game against the Texans. I just thought that with the way the Texans have been playing as of recent and the lack of weapons that the Texans now had due to those injuries to Diggs, to Tank Dell, to the offensive line, I just figured that they weren't going to be in a position to win that game, but their defense played incredible, and they found a way to win. I don't think Stroud did anything great in that game. He played good enough to win offensively, but their defense was really the catalyst for them. That is really the reason they got that win, and they're going into this game to Arrowhead to play a Chiefs team that is 15-2 on the year, 15-1 when all their starters play. Mahomes has been just really a field general this year. The rest of the roster, the defense looks great on the Chiefs. And I actually do think this is going to be a somewhat competitive game in the first half. I just think usually when teams have a bye, they come out a little flat because they've had, a lot of time to rest and they haven't really been in the position of playing. And it gives the other team a little bit of a first half momentum factor. But I still think the Chiefs are going to win this game pretty handily. I'm going to take them 31-21 in this game over the Houston Texans. I just think that they make more plays. Obviously, if you go lineup to lineup, quarterback to quarterback, you have the better quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Coach to coach, you have the better coach in Andy Reid. And I think both teams have really good defenses, but I think the Chiefs' defense is slightly better. Even though the Texans had that incredible week against the Chargers, I still think the Chiefs' defense is better. And if you just look at the way the Chiefs have played this year, I'm not going to bet against them now, especially against the Houston Texans team that before last week, it looked like they had no hope. And look, like I said, they found a way to get a good playoff win. But I got the Chiefs in this one, 31-21. Moving on to the other Saturday game, we have the Commanders and the Detroit Lions. The Lions were the other team that had the bye, obviously. And I believe David Montgomery said he's going to be active in this game. That's a big, big factor for the Detroit Lions. And a lot of people thought, I think, coasting into the end of the year that they were in a lot of trouble due to the injuries, due to everything piling up, and the fact that they could really only win shootouts. And then they won a really good game against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, obviously, the Minnesota Vikings got boat raced against the Rams last week, and it makes that win look a little worse. But I still think that this is the most talented team in the NFL right now. And if you look at the Commanders, they've been playing really well. They have had a lot of momentum. They got a really good win against Baker and the Bucs, and I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think it's going to be a competitive game through and through, a lot closer than what I think people will think. But I do look at the ins and the outs of this, and you just look at it where Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback, this Detroit team has been here before. They've been here before, and they're not new to this. They know that they have to win the Super Bowl this year, or at least get there. They know that they have to do that. If you look at the Commanders team right now, they're playing with house money. They weren't supposed to be in the playoffs. They definitely weren't supposed to be in the second round of the playoffs. They're playing with house money right now. Detroit desperately needs this win. It's at Ford Field. You have a lot of factors that will go in their direction. I'm going to take Detroit in this one, 35-28. I just think the Lions, they need this win. They understand they need this win. They have the right components to go out and get a win like this. I think Jaden Daniels put up a fight. That's why I think it'll only be a 1 touchdown difference. But I think that if you look at what the Lions have with all their offensive threats. Obviously, if Montgomery plays, you have Gibbs, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have your gadget weapon guy in, obviously, Jamison Williams. They just have a lot of depth on the offensive side. Defensive side, obviously, they don't. But I still think they're more talented, and they find a way to get this victory against the Commanders. And that's why I think the Lions will win at 35-28. Moving on to the Sunday slate, we have the Rams and the Eagles. And this is a game that I've went back and forth on a lot. But by the end of that conclusion, I am confident in my pick. And really going into this game, the Rams, what an incredible victory against the Vikings. And they just really harassed Sam Darnold that entire game. They didn't give him a shot to go out and win that game for the Vikings. And the defense, this Rams defense just looks better and better and better every week. You look at Matt Stafford, and you really have to start thinking about it. Is Matt Stafford the best quarterback in the NFC? It's definitely debatable that he's the best quarterback in the NFC. He was on fire to start this game. Puka Nacua is a really, really solid receiver, has been for a long time. And you just look at it, they have Cooper Kupp, Higbee, they have people that are able to go out there and make plays. And Kyron Williams, obviously, he is going to be questionable for that game. I think he needs to play for them to have a chance. But you look at it, and they played an incredible game against the Vikings. Then you go to the Eagles, and I think they played in a kind of underwhelming game. Against the Green Bay Packers. They left a lot on the field. If you look at it, Jalen Hurts went a long time between completions. There was a lot of things that I negatively took away from that victory against the Packers. The Packers had several offensive starters that weren't playing in that game. And you look at it and you're like, that was not that impressive of a performance for the Philadelphia Eagles. And for some reason, obviously we saw it last year, they dipped in the postseason. I didn't like that performance. And you have the Rams coming off an unbelievable, great victory against the Minnesota Vikings. You also have all the tragedies going on in the Los Angeles area. I think that's something that's firing them up. They're playing for LA. They're playing for that city. And you put it all together, and they're the team that has all the momentum in the world going into this game. I think it's similar to the Command. They feel like they don't have much to lose at this point. Not a lot of people had them winning that division, if you look at it, and it's going to be a really, really close game. It's really good for the Eagles that's in Philadelphia, so it's going to be a colder game for the LA-centric Rams. That's why I'm going to take Philadelphia, but it's going to be a really close one. 31-30, Philadelphia Eagles. I think they have to win it at the end. I think it's a crazy game. I think it's one of the most entertaining games of this weekend. It's just going to be a battle. I could see either team winning, but I sat down, I looked at it, and I said, this Eagles team with Saquon Barkley is too talented to lose this game, I think. And that's why I have the Eagles 31-30. I just think that Saquon Barkley is going to put them over the edge and find a way to get them a much-needed victory in this round. The Eagles need to win this game with how they've looked all year, with how talented they are. They can't go out in the divisional round. They need this win against the Rams. I'm going to take them 31-30. Going on to the last game of this slate of the divisional round, you have the Ravens and the Bills, the most anticipated matchup of the entire thing. And if you look at the spread right now, the Ravens are favored in this game. Obviously, I think this is the best version of the Bills that we've seen since Josh Allen's been there. I think this is the best team that they've had so far. And if you look at the Ravens, they've had a lot of good this year, but they've also had a lot of inconsistencies. They've also had a lot of inconsistencies where they just haven't been on to the point that they're on in other games. And I think that that's going to bite them, and I think it's going to bite them in this game. I just think the Bills have been playing too good this year to lose this game, to get out in the divisional round. Josh Allen has been playing great. That game was really never in doubt against Denver. Obviously, they trailed 7-0 for a moment in time. But after that, they blew the brakes off them. And I just think this Bills team is rolling. As I continue to say, it's the best rendition of this team since Josh Allen's been there, in my opinion. And they just do a lot of things well. Their defense isn't great, but Josh Allen makes up for that. And I think he makes up for it in this game. You have to remember the Ravens defense is not that good either. Even in that game against the Steelers, they let up some big, long plays. What do the Bills specialize in? Big, long, flashy plays. So, it's a game where it's going to come down to superstar playmakers making plays. And obviously you have Lamar and Josh Allen. I just think Josh Allen makes one or two more big plays that gets them the win. I think it's going to be close, though, regardless. I'm going to take the Bills, though, 28-25 in a barn burner in a really close battle. I think that it could take a field goal to finish this game. It could take overtime to finish this game. But as I said, it's going to come down to which one of those two superstars makes one or two more great plays. And I think Josh Allen does it. This Bills team has been really good this year. The Ravens have been inconsistent at moments. And that's going to do it for the divisional round. Next week, going to go over the AFC Championship games, but I'm really excited for the divisional round, really confident in these picks. And yeah, I'll see you next week.